How many points are there? Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my Trader Joe's grocery haul with you guys. So it's been a minute since we've been to Trader Joe's, and there are always a few things that I like to stock up on while I'm there. I made sure to get those things today, as well as some new items and just some that I haven't gotten in a while that I'm excited to have and to make some meals with this week. If you enjoy this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I'll be going through each category of item and just giving some different meal ideas, what I use these different ingredients for. I'll share the WeightWatchers points and then pop the nutrition labels on the screen. And then I'll also have the prices as I shop in the store at the end of this video. So stick around for that, and let's go ahead and get started walking through everything. First up, I always start with produce. So let's go through that really quickly. A lot of these are 0 point foods for me. Some people don't have fruits or potatoes as 0 points if you're set to like the diabetic mode on WeightWatchers. So just keep that in mind, but most of these are 0 for me, like I mentioned, and I'll just be explaining how I use them. First up, we've got these red grapes. I really like to have grapes as a quick sweet thing after I finish up a meal, usually my breakfast or my lunch, because I always have an apple after dinner. It's really nice as an option for that. Or if I'm packing snacks on the go, a lot of the time I'll bring a container of grapes with me. I feel like they pair well with a meat stick and like a mozzarella string cheese, and then they also work really well for snack plates. I grabbed some red grapes this time, which are always my favorite. Like I said, I have an apple every single day, so I got a bunch of Cosmic Crisp apples. These have just consistently been the best ones lately, so they looked really good, and I just have one every single day after I finish. I actually didn't have one yesterday because we were out, and so made sure to get a bunch more, and I'll just have them ready for me for my dinners. They're 0 points on WeightWatchers, and sometimes I like to have them as apple nachos, or I'll even cook them up and add them to my yogurt bowl. But actually lately, almost every single day, I've been making my Greek yogurt dip that I just cut up the apple and dip into that. It's got powdered peanut butter or regular peanut butter, some honey and cinnamon, and then vanilla Greek yogurt. That's what I plan to do with my apples. I got some potatoes. I've been cutting them up and roasting them a lot more frequently to use as a base for different meals, whether it's like a burger bowl or something, or like a taco bowl or breakfast bowl. Or recently I made these like mashed potato balls with shredded chicken that were really good, and I've been thinking about doing another version of them. They were 0 points for my 0 point day, so I want to try making them again with a little bit of cheese and some things that have points in them. So I'm excited to try that, and I got some yellow potatoes for that reason. I always get this from Trader Joe's. It's just their coleslaw mix with red and green cabbage, and it's also got carrots. I really like to use this for sesame noodles, so I'll cook this up in a pan, maybe with some onion and like a bell pepper, and then I'll mix in some type of protein, whether it's chicken or shrimp or salmon, and then I'll use the Thai wheat noodles, also from Trader Joe's, which I'll get to soon, and I just mix them together to make a nice filling meal. So this cabbage bag is really nice for that. I also like to use this to make different slaws with it. So I'll mix in some Greek yogurt, maybe some lime juice, some seasonings. Sometimes I'll add some mayo for that extra creaminess, but it works well on things like fish or shrimp tacos, or if we do like spicy chicken sandwiches. We always need some bananas, so these are good for protein shakes, bowls of cereal. Adam just packs one plain for work usually. Also the usual bell peppers and zucchini, which I use to make my veggie mix with, and then I just incorporate that into a bunch of different meals, whether it's bowls. Sometimes I just add them to my scrambled eggs or pasta dishes. It's just so convenient to have cooked vegetables in the fridge ready to add to meals really quickly. That really has been a key to success with maintaining my weight loss and just keeping meals so quick and easy to throw together. Having cooked veggies ready like the pepper and zucchini, also with some onion, is one of my favorite things to do. And then I also got some onion, so just red onion. I still have some yellow in the fridge. It's pretty much every time I go grocery shopping, I have to get one or the other, and like I said, I was out of red onion, so that's what I grabbed today. I use that mostly for veggie mix, different recipes. If I'm gonna be making salsa or something, I usually use onion, so I just needed some more of that. I got some snow peas because either I'll mix these with the cabbage mix and the sesame noodles, or I was thinking about just doing a separate stir fry. I got some chicken, so I might grill up the chicken with some pea pods and a pepper, maybe some chopped carrots. I've got some of those in the fridge, onion. Honestly, you can really mix up the vegetables you use, but I like to have a base vegetable like this, and so we haven't had the snow peas in a little bit. I thought this would be perfect. Just mix with a little soy sauce, maybe some sriracha, and then maybe some toasted sesame oil. That's what these pea pods are for. And then I also got green beans, which I was thinking about breading and making into kind of like an appetizer. I feel like I've said this multiple times, but we have a local restaurant that makes tempura breaded green beans, and they are my favorite. They're so good. I crave them all the time, and I really want to get around to making a lightened up version of them at home. So I've been thinking about doing that, and I keep getting fresh green beans for that reason, and then I end up using them for something else because they're also really easy to have as a side dish with like pasta or chicken. A lot of the times I'll just toss them on a tray with some olive oil spray and some seasoning, pop it in the oven while I'm cooking everything else, and then I just have it ready to have as a side or mixed in with pasta or something like that. So green beans are 0 points on Weight Watchers. Then this was also by the produce section. We haven't tried it before. I wanted to look at these. They are Kung Pao Brussels sprouts. It just comes in a tray like this that's ready to heat up, and it's not 0 points on Weight Watchers because it's nice and saucy. But Adam actually picked these out because they're similar to an appetizer somewhere. I can't remember where he said, but those will be really nice as a side with some salmon or even as an ingredient in bowls. We went through a phase where I made Brussels sprouts so often, and I think we kind of got burned out of them, so I haven't made them in a while, but this might be a really good option. It is 3 points for the serving of a cup, and there's 3.5 servings in here. It's 120 calories, 5 grams of fat, 15 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 7 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. Then Trader Joe's has some of my favorite frozen vegetables. So I love their roasted corn. This is one of my favorite ingredients to add to soups, especially like ramen, but it's also nice to add into some like Spanish rice if I'm making a quick side with like tacos or enchiladas, or even if I just want like more of like a Mexican veggie mix with beans and roasted corn and tomatoes. It's really quick and easy to throw together, and this has some good flavor to it. It's also just convenient to have it ready in the freezer. So a lot of the time when I make soup, I just add it directly in and cook it up, and it's nice and convenient. Also, their fire roasted peppers and onions, another really convenient item to have in the freezer. It's pretty much the veggie mix I make minus the zucchini. When I don't have veggie mix prepped, a lot of the times I'll just use this. I feel like I mostly use it for like egg hash brown bowls, but sometimes I just need a vegetable to add into a meal, and this works out well, whether it's like pasta or if we're doing some type of like fajita bake or something, this is a good option. And then also their shelled edamame is one of my staple items from there. I really prefer this over the refrigerated version just because I like to keep it in the freezer as long as I need it for, and I don't always want to use the whole pack of the refrigerated version at once, but it goes bad kind of quickly, so I just prefer to get the freezer one if they have it. This is their shelled edamame. It's 0 points on Weight Watchers and such a good filling option to incorporate more protein and fiber. For the serving of a half cup of this, it's 100 calories, 2 grams of fat, it's got 12 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. And I really love to use this for sushi bowls or different rice bowls with like salmon or different seafood, or it's also good mixed in sesame noodles or added to my ramen soup. Whenever I want to add a little extra protein and fiber, it's a nice way to bulk meals up for 0 points. Then a couple canned vegetables that I got. First up, just some diced tomatoes, which I use for different like pasta sauces, or sometimes if I'm making that Spanish rice I mentioned, this is a nice option. But then they also have the diced and fire roasted with green chilies. I got 2 cans of each of these because I go through them pretty quickly, and I've tried a bunch of different brands, and for some reason I just really like the options from Trader Joe's. Same thing with their tomato sauce. I got a couple cans of this as well. It's 0 points on Weight Watchers. Really easy to just add some seasonings to and then use it for pasta or pizza. And then sometimes I'll also add in meat and make like a meat sauce, or one of these cans of tomatoes to make it kind of chunky. But a nice 0 point option that's just convenient to have ready in the pantry when I need to make some sauce. I also got some fat-free refried beans. These are a nice filling option to add to tacos or burritos, or when I make like those enchilada bakes I mentioned. For a half cup, it's 120 calories, 23 carbs, 5 grams of fiber, and 8 grams of protein. And usually I just take it out and mix it with some good seasonings to give it some flavor. But I really do like these and don't notice much of a difference between the regular ones other than their consistency, and again, needing to add some extra flavor to them. Oh, then I also grabbed some of the tomato paste as well. So similar to the tomato sauce, I'll just mix this with some water or broth, add some seasonings, and then use it for pizzas and pastas. It just has a little bit of a different flavor compared to the tomato sauce because it's much thicker and more dense, but I really like this as another option to kind of switch things up. I also needed some garlic. So this is just their jar of minced garlic. It's been a while since I've gotten this, and I don't know why, I just had stopped using it for a little. It really does add such great flavor to dishes, and there's so many times I'm going to make something and I'm like, I don't have garlic, I wish I did. So this will be nice to just have in the fridge again, and again, add more flavors to meals, whether it's pasta or like like marinated chicken or something, this is something that's just a staple item. And then one of my favorite items, this is their fire roasted red peppers. So you can get these from most stores, specifically the ones in water I like to get because then there's no points, there's 0 points on Weight Watchers. You have to be careful because some do come in oil, but this is one of my favorite ingredients for different rice bowls, specifically like tzatziki and chicken and feta, which I don't have feta. I meant to grab some there, but I totally forgot. But I use this for so many different things. Even my tuna noodles are so good when you add some roasted red peppers. They just have really good flavor to them. I first tried them working at Potbelly Sandwiches, so I also really like them on sandwiches, but they're just such a versatile ingredient that's 0 points and adds some good flavor without adding any extra calories. It's 5 calories for the serving. Next up, moving on to some proteins. In the freezer section, I grabbed this bag of raw shrimp. It just looked really good. They were nice big pieces, and I feel like this will be really good in a pasta dish or the sesame noodles, or even just as like shrimp tacos. Actually, I think I might do shrimp tacos with this and the slaw and the tortillas I got, which I'll show in a second. It's really easy to just heat this up in a pan with some different seasonings, and it takes only a few minutes, and then I can assemble it with some cooked veggies or something and the tortillas, or if I have that slaw. Or I do really like to use shrimp for pasta, like I said. So it's 0 points on Weight Watchers, 60 calories, and 14 grams of protein for about 6 shrimp. I also got some ground chicken, which I like to use for taco meat, meatballs, chicken burgers. It's 0 points on Weight Watchers. I got 2 things of it because I pretty much always buy meat in packs of 2 because I like to just prep extra ahead of time. If I'm going through the process of making meatballs or turkey burgers or chicken burgers, I might as well just make some extra because they hold up well in the fridge. And they work well combined with different ingredients for a bunch of different recipes. So it's 0 points, 170 calories, and 22 grams of protein for 4 ounces. And I'll probably just prep this into one of those things that I mentioned. Then I did also get some chicken breast. I got 2 packs of these as well because I've been marinating big batches and then just grilling it up quickly or cooking it on my griddle. So I got about 3 pounds here, and then I'll just have it ready for bowls throughout the week, tacos, sandwiches, pasta, anything that I can add chicken to. Usually I try to do more of like a generic like herb, garlic seasoning so that it can go with different things. Or sometimes I'll make it more of like a taco seasoned thing and then I'll just use it for those types of recipes. But it's 0 points and a nice filling protein. I think this was just new packaging and we've had these before, but we do really like the Trader Joe's chicken sausages. These are 110 calories for 1 link, and this flavor is the spicy jalapeno chicken sausage. It's 6 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 10 grams of protein per link, and it's 3 points for 1 on Weight Watchers. So I really like to use these for pasta and eggs. I feel like that's what I use them for the most because they don't add too many points, but they add some protein and a lot of flavor. And I think on the sign it said that these had like roasted red peppers in them, so even more with the jalapenos. 3 points for 1 isn't bad. I'll usually just cut them up and mix them into pasta or eggs. I also needed some bacon, so I really like this Trader Joe's bacon. It's the same as Center Cut, where it's 2 points for 2 slices on Weight Watchers. It's 60 calories for that serving, 3 grams of fat, and 4 grams of protein. I'll just make this whole thing at once, pop it in the oven on a tray, and then it's ready to be used for different meals, whether it's a BLT or a BLT bowl, or burgers, or eggs for breakfast. There's so many different things I can use it for, and a lot of the time I'll just do like 1 piece mixed in something to add that flavor, and it's only 1 point. But I needed to get some bacon. Then this was in the freezer section, but it's something I've tried more recently and I really enjoy. Again, is one of those convenient options when maybe I don't have ingredients prepped, I don't have the chicken burgers prepped, like the veggie mix, how I've got the frozen peppers. These turkey burgers are a great option for a quick meal, whether I just cook one up and add it to a rice bowl or a quick pasta dish. I've even used like the Goodles cups and made one of these really quickly, added it in with some barbecue sauce, and it's really nice and filling, but just quick and easy too. These are 0 points on Weight Watchers. They are 180 calories, 10 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein. And this comes with 4 burgers, and they are raw, so you have to make sure to fully cook them, but usually I'll just get them started on the stove while I get everything else set up for the meal that I'm making. We each got a pack of these egg bites. These are so convenient on the go, and we just really enjoy the flavor of them. I've made some copycat versions at home, but it still doesn't always compare to these. It's just that specific flavor and texture, and we just really enjoy them. So these are their spinach kale egg bites. It's 2 points for the package on Weight Watchers, 150 calories, 8 grams of fat, and then they have 12 grams of protein in them. So you just pop this little tray into the microwave and heat them up in, I want to say 60 seconds, and then it's ready to go just as a quick breakfast, a quick snack. Honestly, I'll end up eating them like as a midday snack sometimes, and I really enjoy it that way. Next up, some dairy. One thing I get every time I go to Trader Joe's, this is the Jarlsberg light Swiss cheese, and it's their slices. Each slice is 2 points on Weight Watchers, and actually I always forget to mention, it is 3 points for 2 slices. It doesn't go up to 4. So this is a really nice option when I do like an open face sandwich and I want cheese on both sides. You can have 2 slices for 3 points, but it's also good ripped up and added to different like Reuben recipes, or sometimes I'll just add it to my scrambled eggs. It's nice on burgers, and anything that I use Swiss cheese for, it's a nice lower point option. So 50 calories per slice, 2.5 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 7 grams of fiber. I also love Trader Joe's shredded cheeses. So every single time I get the light mozzarella, it is 2 points for the serving of a 1/4 cup, 60 calories, 2 grams of fat, 3 carbs, and 7 grams of protein. It melts nicely, works really well for pizza or eggs or even pasta, especially when I do like a chicken parmesan, like red sauce pasta. I really like to add some mozzarella cheese. This is something that I get every single time. And then I also got some of the light Mexican style cheese blend, which is 3 points for the serving. It's 80 calories, 4 grams of fat, 2 carbs, and 8 grams of protein. And honestly, I use this for a lot of the same things that I use the mozzarella cheese for. It also works nicely for tacos and quesadillas. And then of course, like I said, eggs or like hash brown bowls, pasta, pizza, all that stuff. I also just got some grated Parmesan cheese, which is a point for the serving of 2 teaspoons, and usually that's the amount I use. Sometimes I don't even track it because I'll just put a sprinkle on top of my pasta, but it's 25 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, and 2 grams of protein. Then I have been loving this from Trader Joe's. It is their chocolate whipped light cream. Such a nice option for creamies, but also just different desserts. Sometimes I'll even just do like banana with some of this, and it's really good, the chocolate banana combo. It's 1 point for the serving of 2 tablespoons, 15 calories, and 1.5 grams of fat. And I don't know what, lately I've just been really enjoying different whipped cream. And so this chocolate one has really good flavor. It almost reminds me of like a chocolate cream pie or something. That's why I've really been enjoying this, even just on berries. And especially as it becomes berry season, this is gonna be so good with strawberries. Really quickly, some dips that I got. So this is the Trader Joe's caramelized onion dip. It is a little bit higher point. It's 3 points on Weight Watchers for the serving of 2 tablespoons, 70 calories, 6.5 grams of fat, 3 carbs, 1 gram of sugar, and less than a gram of protein. And I love this with their crunchy curls, which I actually still have some in the pantry. It reminds me of potato chips with just like French onion dip, but I like this dip even more. It is made with sour cream, so it's not one of their like Greek yogurt dips, which is why it's a little bit higher. But most of the time I just use it as a quick snack, add it to snack plates, and then sometimes I've used it in the past as a sauce for pasta. It also works really well as a spread on burgers. This is one I don't think we've tried before. I don't think we've seen it. It's their guaca salsa. This tomatillo salsa jumps into this guacamole. So it's actually 0 points on Weight Watchers up until 3 tablespoons, but the serving's for 2 tablespoons. It's 20 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, and 2 carbs. And this will be really good for taco night or for bowls. I really like rice mixed together with guacamole like this. And we had tried something similar from Good Foods and loved it. It's like their avocado salsa. I'm guessing that's exactly what this is going to be. It's even just nice with some tortilla chips as a quick snack, or again, an ingredient added to nachos, bowls, all that stuff. Okay, now moving on to some pantry items that I grabbed today. I've never tried these from Trader Joe's, but we were out of tortillas like this. They are just their corn tortillas. For 2 of them, it's 3 points on Weight Watchers, which I think is the same as the tortillas I normally get. It's 110 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 23 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 3 grams of protein. And it says that they have white corn, water, and lime. So they might have a little bit of a lime flavor. I'm interested to see how that is. But usually what I do is I just take a pan with some nonstick spray and I set it to like a medium heat. And I just cook these for like 30 seconds on each side to get them soft. Sometimes I'll do a little longer to get them a little crispy, but they work really well for tacos. Or I also like to bake them in the oven, make little like flauta type things where I stuff them with some shredded chicken or some taco meat, and then we add toppings on them after, kind of like a little taquito. But I just needed more tortillas. Like I said, I might also make shrimp tacos, so that's what I'll use for those. This was something new that I hadn't seen before, and actually it was by the chips, so I think it's meant to just be more of like a snack that you eat just plain. But I thought this would be so good as a crunchy topping on bowls, specifically different like sushi inspired bowls. This is spicy tempura seaweed snack. It says it is crispy seaweed coated with tempura batter and seasoned with togarashi style seasoning. I don't know if I said that correctly, but they look really like seasoned and like they have a good amount of that tempura on them. And I thought even just a couple would be good, kind of like sprinkled on top of a bowl, because I've done that before with just the regular dried seaweed and it's really good. So the serving size is for half the package. Like I said, it's more of just like a snack, although this might be really good in some air pop popcorn as a snack mix too, maybe with some dried edamame. For half the package, it's 5 points on WeightWatchers, 170 calories, 11 grams of fat, 15 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. Then, like I mentioned before, my all-time favorite item from Trader Joe's, their Thai wheat noodles. These are 8 points for a package, and there's 3 packages in here. It's 310 calories for one, 2 grams of fat, 63 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, and 10 grams of protein. Sometimes I'll have an entire pack to myself, but a lot of the time what I do when I do like sesame noodles is I use 2 of these packs and then make 3 servings out of it. So it ends up being like 6 points that I track instead of 8. But these are just my favorite. They're so quick and easy to heat up with a little bit of like soy sauce or teriyaki, any vegetable, any protein. It's so easy to mix up the different things that I have with these. Sometimes I'll also add in some scrambled egg or some different toppings like I showed, like those crunchy tempura seaweed things. It's just one of my all-time favorite meals that I like to be able to kind of replicate takeout food, but for way, way, way fewer points. I recently used some nutritional yeast and it was the end of my package, so I wanted to grab some more because I forgot how nice of an ingredient it is to add that good like nutty, cheesy flavor to things without adding a bunch of points. So I used it for my 0 point day and it was really good in savory oats. It's 0 points for the tablespoon, 20 calories, 2 grams of fat, 1 gram of fiber, and 3 grams of protein. And I know a lot of people like to use this with eggs. On the back, it also says that you can use it for sauces, scrambles, vegetable chips, crackers, and pizza. I know a lot of people also sprinkle it on their popcorn. Just an ingredient that I forgot about that's kind of a nice option to have on hand. Okay, I grabbed some coffees. So these are their cold brew concentrates. I love this maple pecan version. I was surprised to see they still had some, but I'm guessing that they are phasing it out because they also had this next to the pumpkin spice, which I was surprised they still had. So this is just really nice combined with my Quest salted caramel protein shakes. I add some ice cubes and then usually the 4-ounce serving of this, and it's perfect. It's such a good combination. Then I also got this vanilla cold brew concentrate, which is pretty similar, just with vanilla flavor. And so many different things go with the Quest salted caramel protein shakes, so I'll just do the same thing where I pour in 4 ounces of this and then mix it together with ice and the protein shake. And usually with the concentrates like this, you just add them to more water or to more milk, but it works well mixing them directly with the protein shake. Okay, some other freezer items that I grabbed. These are their mini French baguettes. It's another one of those options that we don't have all the time, but sometimes we want bread as a side with our meal that we're having and we don't have any fresh bread. So that's when it's nice to have these in the freezer. They are 3 points for one baguette, 110 calories. They've got 22 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of protein. And they heat up really nicely in the air fryer. Usually that's just what we do. And then again, we'll have them as a side with like a pasta dish or something like that. One of my all-time favorite little like appetizer things that they have in the freezer section. These are their steamed chicken soup dumplings. We each just have our own package when we make them. It comes with 6 in there and they just come in a tray that you microwave. I just love the flavor of them. I love any type of dumpling that has like a doughy kind of outside like this. And then it's got the broth and the chicken filling on the inside. It's 7 points for the box of this. 250 calories, 7 grams of fat, 29 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, 3 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. And a lot of the time we'll just have it as a side with those sesame noodles that I've been talking about, or like fried rice or chicken stir fry. Okay, we were pretty surprised about this one. I need to double check again, but when we scanned it, it says it was 5 points. And I feel like in the past, we've always just thought it was 5 points, but we double checked the nutrition and it wasn't accurate. So this is actually 9 points per serving and there's 2 servings in here. Usually Adam and I just split the bag and then we'll top it with some salmon or something. So technically we're not adding any points to it when we make the meal. So 9 points isn't terrible, but it is more than I thought. It's 250 calories for that serving, 8 grams of fat, 41 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, and 6 grams of protein. And you just heat it up on the stove, although you can microwave it. I usually prefer just cooking it on the stove. And it's one of those meals that I just like to bulk up with 0 point foods. So sometimes I'll add some veggie mix or some even regular roasted asparagus if I have it on hand. And then this is a nice creamy risotto base. And then I'll top it with some chicken, shrimp, or salmon. which is all 0 points. I was happy to see this because they didn't have it last time. This is their breaded chicken nuggets, but they're gluten-free, and I honestly just love the breading. I love that they come as just like the raw chicken. I feel like then they're less dry when I cook them, but they have such good flavor. They're 5 points for the serving of 4 pieces, which is about 4 ounces. 200 calories, 6 grams of fat, 20 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and 16 grams of protein. Usually I'll just cook them in the air fryer, but you just need to make sure that you fully cook them through because they are raw. And then I'll use them sometimes just plain dipped in sauce if I'm just craving chicken nuggets like that. But they have such good flavor that usually they're really good mixed in a rice bowl or pasta dish. Specifically, I like to do red sauce with them and do like a chicken parmesan. These are just an option that I've been getting for years now, and sometimes they have them there, sometimes they don't. So I actually got 2 bags today because I was happy to see that they had them and I wanted to stock up in the freezer. I feel like there's so many convenient freezer items at Trader Joe's that I stock up on when I go there. This is their jasmine rice. So just like the turkey burgers and the veggie mix, this is something that when I don't have cooked jasmine rice in the fridge prepped, which most of the time I actually do, but there are some times where we're out of it, this is so convenient to be able to just grab the bag and heat it up in the microwave. It comes with 3 bags in here and each bag has 2 servings. It's a cup serving and it's 6 points on WeightWatchers, 210 calories, 46 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. It works perfectly as a base for bowls, and usually Adam and I can just split the bag quickly, or sometimes I also use it to make fried rice. Okay, then the last few things that I got, some kind of snacky items. I love their blue corn tortilla chips. They are super salty. They work really well as a base for nachos, and then now that we got that guaca salsa, I feel like that's gonna be a really nice snack to have. It's 3 points for the serving of about 9 chips, 150 calories, 7 grams of fat, 19 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. And I've always just loved blue corn tortilla chips, but specifically these with the saltiness, it just makes them even better. And I mostly use them for nachos. Okay, we got these last time and the bag didn't last too long. I loved them. So they're sweet onion style pretzel twists. For the serving of 12 pieces, it's 3 points on WeightWatchers, 120 calories, 4 grams of fat, 19 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. I will sometimes just have them plain as a quick snack or mixed with some air pop popcorn as a snack mix. Sometimes if we have dips that go well with them, I'll do that. But most of the time I'm just using them as like a snack mix or even a snack plate with tuna. I like to dip them in my tuna. I was happy to see that they still have these. I'm hoping this becomes an item that they just always carry. I always get the Panda Puffs, but this was right next to them today, so I decided to try this instead because it's got some cocoa in it as well. I usually use the Panda Puffs as a topping on my yogurt bowls, so that's exactly what I'm going to do with this cereal. So it's their organic peanut butter and cocoa crunch sweetened corn cereal. It is 6 points for the serving of a cup, but usually I don't use that serving like I said. I'll probably do like a 2 or 3 point serving when I add it to my bowls. It's 160 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 33 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 11 grams of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. Then I got some salty peanut Bear Bells, and this really is my favorite flavor out of all of them lately. It's the one that I crave the most consistently, but we really kind of burned ourselves out of Bear Bells. We ate them so frequently that most of the flavors I just don't even really crave as much anymore. Of course, the Creamy Crisp is always gonna be one of our favorites, but I feel like I said, I always want the salty peanut when I do actually want one of these. They're 5 points for the bar, 200 calories, 8 grams of fat, 18 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 20 grams of protein. They're most similar to like a Snickers, so a lot of the time it's just at night when I'm craving chocolate and I want to have a candy bar or something. I'll have one of these protein bars to help me hit my protein goal for the day and still satisfy that craving. Okay, then the last thing I got today isn't low point, but I haven't seen these in a while and I love them. It's one of those things that if I have just like 1 or 2, it really does satisfy my sweet tooth. I just need to grab them from the bag, leave them in the pantry, and walk away. For the serving of 5 sticks, it is 7 points on WeightWatchers. It's 120 calories, 3 grams of fat, 23 carbs, and 17 grams of sugar. And I didn't even say what they are. So they're dark chocolate orange sticks. It's kind of like a jelly orange in the middle, and then they're coated in dark chocolate. You can't really see on the bag, but there's a picture of them. Something that I didn't even know I'd like that much, and I just love the flavors together. And like I said, just 1 or 2 of them really does satisfy my craving for like chocolate or something sweet. So after I finish my dinner, something after my apple, I'll come in and just have a couple of these. But they are 7 points for 5 of them, so you do have to be careful to really portion them out. But that wraps up everything that I got from Trader Joe's today. It was a good grocery haul that I got all the produce, all the proteins that I need to set myself up for success for the week. I'll probably be doing a Sunday reset soon where I can get all of those things prepped and ready in the fridge. And it just makes such a difference with being able to stay on track with healthier choices, being less likely to get takeout food, and just find different ways that are actually satisfying to fuel my body. I'm happy with everything I got today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Stick around for the prices of everything that I got today, and I will see you guys next time.